Ojanandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shakshurmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikaye Tadaraye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. So today we're going to see Christianity and Vedanta. Because this is not discussed in Vedanta, there was no Christian at that time, but we are born in Christian countries, and sometimes our mind is completely filled with these doctrines of the Christianity, without knowing actually. And it is important. Bhaktivinod Thakura, Saptam Goswami, he has also done serious criticism of Christianity. So in Tattva Viveka, for example, Bhaktivinod Thakura is saying, some men are looking, they are saying that this world was created by God for our own enjoyment. But the problem is that we see the world is imperfect. There are so many accidents, so much injustice, and there's birth and death and disease and old age, and so therefore the Christians, he doesn't name them, but we understand he's talking about the Christian. The Christians, they are saying the world is filled with sorrow, and we are punished because of some offense. So then Srila Bhaktivinod Thakura is saying, how do they explain that we are punished? For what kind of sin are we punished? So they invented this story of the Garden of Eden. In a garden, the original man is there peacefully, he's living peacefully with his wife, but there's a tree of knowledge of good and evil, and God forbade them to eat from this tree, but they eat nevertheless. And as a result, they are expelled from the garden. So it's like they are falling from the spiritual world into the material world, and they have to experience birth, death, old age, and disease. They have to die, and they have to experience because of this original sin. And nothing can be done. Everybody is paying the price for this original parents who have sinned. Everybody has to grow old and become sick and die and experience evil. The only thing that God can think of is becoming a human being himself in order to save, to redeem the human beings, and he becomes Jesus Christ. He takes on himself all the sins of the world, and he dies on the cross. And he says, Bhaktivinod Thakura, he said, you have to be really stupid to buy this philosophy. It just doesn't make sense. For one thing that is never been said in Christianity, why are you worshipping a dead God? Why are you only portraying a God as suffering? When you see Krishna, he is never suffering. He's always enjoying. He's bliss personified. Ananda. He's Anandamaya Vyasat, Anandamaya Purusha. He's always experiencing bliss. Once Srila Gurudev said, when you're praying, you're suffering, you're praying, Krishna doesn't hear your prayers. Because he's always busy, playing the flute, enjoying himself. He doesn't know what it is to suffer in this material world. He cannot relate to it. So some devotees became puzzled. They said, well, who is hearing? We are praying, who is hearing? And Gurudev pointed to his heart and said, Paramatma. This witness in the heart, he's listening. And he sends the pure devotee. He's been sent by Krishna because Krishna doesn't experience any suffering. But he's sending someone into this world like Jesus Christ, like Prabhupada, like Gurudev, all of the acharyas. They know what suffering is. They are not suffering on the same level as we do, but they know that we are suffering and they want to take us out of this world. This is by pure mercy. So, and also the death of Jesus on the cross, Srila Prabhupada always said that Jesus didn't die on the cross. In the Quran also, the book of the Muslim, they say that Jesus doesn't die on the cross, that he actually either was someone else or they thought he died, but he didn't die. But Prabhupada said he was in Samadhi. Just like Haridas Thakur is being beaten in 20 different marketplaces, and then the people will beat him up. They say, but you have to die, because if you don't die, they will kill us, the Muslim. So you have to die. So Haridas Thakur, being merciful, say, oh, you want me dead? Okay. And he drops dead. But actually he's in Samadhi. They pick up his body, they throw him in the Ganga, and as soon as in the Ganga, he comes back to life and he swims across the Ganga, and they see him standing up on the other shore, and they all become surprised, and they say, oh yes, this man was truly saintly, just like, Jesus on the cross. Someone says, truly this man was a man of God, but actually he was a yogi. He had all the different kind of experience of a yogi. He was walking on water, he was curing the sick, he knew the mind of people. You could tell what they were saying, and he rose the dead. So he also could go into Samadhi, deep absorption. And yogi, they can do this. Expert yogi, they can do this. They can stop their breathing. They can stop the pulse. They can stop the heartbeat. It seems like they are dead. So this is like a mistake. Also Christian, they say we don't need a teacher. This is still Bhaktivinod Thakura speaking. They can learn by themselves. There's only Jesus who's going to teach them. But actually, if you don't have a living guru, you cannot learn anything about sadhana, the real sadhana. And if you don't practice real sadhana, then you cannot attain the highest goal. It is impossible. And this is the big problem in Christianity and many other religions. There is no more instructors. Bona fide saintly people who can guide the people, who can tell them this is the teaching of Jesus. Jesus was teaching orally, verbally. He was speaking with his disciple. But we don't have this in the Bible. So we need a living teacher who can tell us exactly what he was saying, explain, and tell them what kind of sadhana to practice. And also, what is the goal? Where are you going? They don't know anything about the soul. The Christians don't know anything about the soul. Bhaktivinod Thakura is saying, according to Christian, the soul did not exist before birth. And at death, it doesn't exist anymore. You live only once. Only once, and if you do good works, then you go to heaven. And if you do bad works, you go to hell forever, eternally, eternal hell. What kind of a God is this? That punish you to go to eternal hell for some mistakes you've made. And they have a material conception of salvation. For them it is paradise. Karma Mimamsa also wants to go to paradise. This is mundane paradise, where you can enjoy and you can see the loved one that you had. In the Quran also, many materialistic description of heaven. You can have many women, you can have many men. If you are a woman, you can have wine in quantity, everything you dream in this world, and even things which are forbidden for you, you can have. Material heaven. No God. There's no description of God. And then they say animals have no soul. Christians said that God breathed the living breath into man, and man became a living soul. Neshama, this is Hebrew word. He's a nefesh and neshama. But they say that animals have no soul, because God didn't breathe into their nostrils, so they have, but they are breathing. What kind of nonsense is this? Jiva means breathing. Jiv comes from the root word to breathe. But they're saying like this because they want to exploit the animal, they want to mistreat them, they want to kill them and eat them. So they have no notion of what the soul is. And they don't know where evil comes from. If God is good and all-powerful, then why is there evil in the world? Either God is not good, He's very powerful. He could stop evil. He sees everything wrong in the world and he enjoys it. He likes to have people suffer. I know some people who think like this. Sometimes when they're very angry at God, they are very disappointed with their life. They say God is enjoying seeing us suffering. But no, this is not God. And either he's willing that no evil exists, but he's not all-powerful. And therefore, what kind of a God is this? So they cannot answer this question of where from evil is coming from. So they're inventing some rival entity called Satan or devil. He's equal to God, almost. And he's taking care of the bad side. Actually, this philosophy comes from Persia, modern Iran. Zarathustra, he had this belief of two gods. One good God creates the good thing, one bad God creates the evil thing. So there's Ahura Mazda, he's the supreme God. Mazda is the light. And Harimam is the darkness, and he creates death, he creates disease, he creates everything that goes wrong. This is a dual principle. One good God, one bad God. You see that in mythology? They are the gods on one side and the demons on the other side. Also in German mythology, you see there's a big battle taking place at the end of the world between the gods like Odin and Thor and between all the demons. Yes, there can be gods and demons, but there's one supreme being. And this supreme being, he's all good. He's all goodness. He cannot be tainted by evil. And there's no rival. He has no rival. No one is equal to him. No one is superior to him. They do not understand how this world is working. They do not understand that Maya is not devil, it's not Satan. Srila Bhaktivinod Thakura is saying Satan is totally imaginary. It doesn't exist. Actually, I told a Christian that a person thought that someone that he knew was haunted by some kind of evil spirit. And I told that person, don't be afraid of evil. Don't be afraid of ghosts and demons, because Jesus, being the good person, only by his name, all the demons, they go away. They cannot stand. And we are not asking you to believe in God, in demons. We are asking you to believe in God and the representative of God. Be it Jesus or your Guru, Gurudev, bona fide Guru. This is the one who is representing God. But they don't have this understanding. They don't know how Prakriti is working. Devi Prakriti, this Maya Devi, she's making everybody bewildered. And when she sees that you want to come to Krishna, she will help you to come to him. Yogamaya. Same. Mahamaya, Yogamaya. They don't understand Maya Tattva. They don't know Jiva Tattva. They don't know also who is God. Their worship in Christianity, Judaism, and also Muslim is imperfect. They say God has no form. He cannot be represented. He has no name. They think that God resides in the sky. Yes, Yuri Gagarin, the first man who went out in outer space, this Russian guy. When he came back, he said, well, I've been into the sky and I didn't see God. So therefore God doesn't exist. How stupid can you be? They think that God is there somewhere and sitting on the cloud. This is very childish mentality. And then another useless kind of worship is to think that God is like the sky. The sky is empty, it's all-pervading, so they have this conception of God as being empty and all-pervading. It is totally impersonal. They have something against Alsha Vigraha. They say you cannot represent God because they don't know what is God and what is God's form. They say he has no form. So therefore you're worshipping Radha Krishna, you're idol worshipper. But they don't have no idea of what God is. So all this imperfection should make us understand that this is not proper Siddhanta. Jesus, he had some kind of teaching that could elevate you. but you need a living Guru to understand him. He wants you to die, yes, die to live, like Srila Bhaktiraksha Sridhar Goswami Maharaj was always saying, die to live. You have to have the ego dying, and in order that the real soul, to be born again Christian, to be resurrected into the spirit. So, God is love also. Jesus said God is love. Srila Bhaktivinod Thakura is saying, because he's addressing in a book he called the Bhagavat, he's addressing the Brahmo Samaj. Brahmo Samaj was created by Ram Mohan Roy. He's a great-grandfather of Rabindranath Tagore. And he it's a mixture of Christianity and Hinduism. He's saying Ram Mohan Roy was an able man. He could not be satisfied with the theory of illusion contained in the Mayavad philosophy of Shankar. His heart was full of love of nature, and so therefore he was attracted to Christianity. So he also mixed with some idea from India. But this is exactly what Bhakti is all about. It is a personal God. Christ is a person, and he's presenting God as a person. The word, the God he's speaking about, he has Vatsalya Bhav for all of us. This is called Bhakta Vatsalya. And so therefore, if we understand the right teaching of Jesus, we can come to that conclusion.